Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, breaker of the seven seals, messenger of the covenant of Abraham. Welcome. Brothers and sisters, this has been a 50,000 year journey, a hard journey, tough road. We're not used to opposition. Listen to dumbass Ishmael. Man was made for opposition. No, we were not. Because we lived in paradise. Our existence is primarily in paradise. We was in paradise before 50,000 years ago, and after we return, we'll be in paradise until the next 76 trillion years. So you can't have opposition in paradise. See, they don't know what they're talking about. Like this T.J. Jakes. But the thing is, brothers and sisters, if they're listening to T.J. Jakes and they don't hear anything else, then why is his explanation wrong? If they're hearing anything else. You see what I'm saying? If there's nothing to counter that, if there's no clean water, then what's wrong with bad water? And so those of you that have the clean water and not stepping up and offering to the people, keeping it to yourself, see, you're going to be drowned in that clean water. You're going to be drowned in it. See? Because it makes no sense. You know, all the messengers and prophets and angels prayed for this day. They wanted to be here. They wanted to see Suleiman in action. They wanted to see the angel. Right? They wanted to go to war. You understand? With the most powerful weapon, right, ever, the angel, right, the word. See, because so the word, so you don't understand. The word is more powerful than atom bombs. You're saying? Because words change reality. See, atom bomb destroys parts of reality, but the word changes reality. See, you know, some of us they want to sit around and, oh, well, I done my thing, so they think that some angels will come and transport them into the promised land. And it kind of gets to me sometimes. I have to it's like I'm talking to children. I have to break things made down so clearly. If we're going to change this reality to another reality, how are we going to change it? We got to take this reality from these people that have the reality. That means that's a war. We got to take it. It says in Exodus, God took Joshua and took the Holy Land, so now you got to take it. See, he put him on the land, but now you got to take it. You got to go forth and take it. Nothing just comes by. What you think transforming energy from one form to another? It means you got to change. You got to change. You got to take it. See, you got to do something. But they think they're going to change reality, going to the next reality without doing anything. Oh, okay, I'm just sitting here and watch. I'm watching NFL and whatever, and I'm going to end up in the paradise. I'm going to end up in the promised land. Well, you wait, keep waiting on that. See, we got to take this back. You better read Angel again. So if you're not willing to take it back, you stay here and you go down with this one. It doesn't matter to me. Because if you're that type of person, we don't want you in the hereafter anyway, because you're too weak. And you just give it back to the devil. You know, I shouldn't have to explain things. You know, here we are at the end of a 50,000 year journey. We've been kicked around, stomped on, pissed on, shit on, and everything else. And now it's our time to stand up and come out that toilet bowl and kick ass. And some of them just want to sit on the toilet bowl. Sit on the side, watch. Some of them just want to lay back in the toilet bowl. In a bowl of shit. Some are like that. See, I have no time to waste no time with them. Because if you ain't ready for battle, I'm not going to waste time with you. If you're not ready for battle, remember, the 144,000, they came forth ready to battle. And I got to come and try to convince you to battle? See, they ready to battle because that's why they delivered. Because they're taking back this new reality. They're taking it back. They're battling a huge army ready for battle because they don't have to take it back. So you sit back on the sidelines waiting, and you keep waiting. See, and pretty soon the lights will be out, and you won't have to wait anymore. And we don't have to, and you'll be gone, and we don't, and you'll be going out of sight and mind because we're not going to weep over you. I mean, it's sad. See, so you can't say at any time, because that's why Suleiman was raised, to show you that you can do it, because he would be even the hardest one to do it. What do I mean by that? If you understand energy deprivation, the more complex you are, the wiser you are, the more you're going to suffer. The devils, they don't suffer from energy deprivation because they're as simple as this. They're just Volkswagen Beetle. But if you're a Bentley, you're going to suffer. But if you're a Lamborghini, you're going to suffer more. So they're both expensive cars. So the one that's going to suffer most is the most complex one, the high priest. So if he can do it, you damn sure could do it. This whole thing was set up so beautiful. So you have no excuse. See? And not only that, but when the time comes, he's in his 70s, and you're in your 20s and 30s, and you can't keep up with him. And all you got to do is sit back and study and teach while you're sitting down in presentation, put the information out there. You don't have to go out and sell 300 papers. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And you have to pay the price for it. You get mad. I don't care if you get mad at me or not. I'm telling you the truth. If I tell you this is what you got to do to survive and you don't do it, what you going to get mad at me for? I don't care if you get mad at me. Just like, what are you going to get mad at Noah for? Noah says it's going to be a flood. And we got Bill's Ark. You don't want to build it? He's telling you what you need to do to survive. Remember his son in the Quran? He says, I'm not going to get on that ark. I'm going to a high mountain. Should have happened to him. The water rose up higher than the mountain. See, in war, you got to be factful, truthful, and direct. You ain't got time to walk around with perfume and cologne. Hey, brother, would you come? See, most of you have never been in the military anyway, and that's part of the problem. Because you expect somebody to come with roses and, brother, would you please do this? And would you, brother, please do that? See? The sisters are better words than you are. But I'm not a pimp. I'm not going to use the sisters. But if I did, believe me, this would have been over already. If I went after the sisters and got them, this would have been over already. See? Because when sisters get on the case, they be serious. They take care of business. If this was up to the sister, I'm not going to pimp the sister, but if this was up to the sister, this would have been over already. This would have been over already. That's why Farrakhan uses them. Because those Negroes over there that call themselves males, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything over here. If it wasn't for those sisters, Farrakhan would be homeless. See, we don't pimp sisters here. $50,000 years. Countdown to Armageddon. That's what we got subject, brothers and sisters. Countdown to Armageddon. 50,000 years. We finally come to the end. And you read the scriptures, prophets and messengers, and man, they wish they could be here. Elijah Muhammad talked about that, so they wish they could have seen the Son of Man in action. See? Because they've already been told how it's going to happen. See, that little stone. See, like it says, it's like stone rolling down the mountain. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, it's like a snowball. It rolls down, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But they want to see how these little stones going to crush all these powerful nations. And that's going to happen. See, whether you like it or not. If you sit on the sidelines, you're going to be crushed with it. See, you should be happy to get behind this message 24/7 and get out there and blast them with the truth, kill them with the truth. But you ain't doing anything. And they wonder why. No, nobody's listening to me because first of all, you're not talking. Second of all, right, you look at T.J. Jakes, Sheffield O'Donnell, and all these people, Jeff O'Donnell and all these people. They're going 24/7 their BS. And why wouldn't people listen to that? I mean, it's dirty water, but you ain't presenting any clean water. So how can they, you see what I'm saying? And they have an excuse. They have an excuse. See, and some of them will be accepted while your ass will be thrown out. Because if they come with that excuse, I never heard it. That's an excuse. That's a valid excuse. I never heard it. See? And then look around, so why you didn't hear it? See? And because of you sitting on the ass, on your ass, didn't do anything, so your ass get what they would have got. Ain't that justice? They come and say they didn't hear it. See? They barely made it. They barely fled. They barely survived. And they come here, but I never heard that. I never heard that before. I wish I had heard it. And we can show that he never heard it. And then we look around and say, where's all the people did you ever say anything, brother? Were you out there talking about it? No. Well, then you're the reason why they never heard it. Because you was never telling it. You never the reason why they never saw clean water, because you never presented clean water and you had it. So these things don't happen to you. Brothers and sisters, let's move on to countdown to Armageddon. See, I got a angel, presentation here. See, because I want to make it clear. See, we've been talking. I wanted to talk. Bring it. I'm talking about what the angel says, but now I want to show how the angel says it. Okay, here's the angel key. Now this is where we are right now in time. The four winds hasn't blown, right? You see the Shia, right? They're pushing up against America and Britain and false Israel right now. We see a tension over there, right? Countdown to Armageddon. This is where we are in time. 24,000 on top, right? Okay. They're already separated themselves, and they're not even out the womb yet. See? So here we are. See? Now, notice the crowns there. You only see 5, the other 2 ones because Russia and Eastern and Western Europe is under the Shia because the Shia moving up. But 7 crowns there. That's the dragon that has 7 heads and 10 horns. See? And on the heads he had 7 crowns. So that's the crowns. That means that's the dragon there. That's Europe. That's European countries. They have the crowns represents authority. They just thought they had authority. They didn't want to run the world right now. The Europeans are running the world right now. So-called superpowers. The world's they're dominating. So they had the crowns. See. So I'm not going to explain about the dragon, all that kind of stuff, right? But dragon represents House of Assad. See, but there was 3 beasts. There was the dragon. There was 2 beasts. Both of the beasts had 7 heads and 10 horns also. But one of the beasts has 7 heads and 10 horns and crowns on his 10 horns. The other beast has 7 heads and 10 horns and no crowns on anything. See, but we're not going to go into that kind of detail here. We've explained how we are right now. This is where we are right now in time, and it's about to change. Because the war is about to break out. We know. We already told. I mean, how many times I got to tell you? They're saying that they will not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And they're saying Iran is so close, they definitely will have one within 60 to 90 days. Now, if they're going to back up their commitment, that means they got to take out Iran before the next 90 days. See? And they also got this thing going on with Russia, right? And Ukraine. And you got a thing going on with China and Taiwan. Now, no one that knows anything or watched my presentation know I've been talking about this ever since I've been online. And I was talking about for the last 30 years before there was online. You know, when I had a website, right? And before I even had a website. See? So anybody knows me, know I've been saying this, and I have the books to prove it. See? Because I got wrote books back there and made sure it was time-stamped. Somebody come and say, oh, man, you're just making this up. And anybody that's been knowing me for the last few years know I've been saying this. And all of a sudden, that's what the world is right now. The world is focused on what? Russia and America going at it. Iran and China. And they keep telling you this could happen, break out any day now. They're saying Russia could break out any day now. But we know they're going to hit Iran first. That means Iran's going to go. They keep saying it's imminent. Anyway, that's where we are right now. Then the war takes place, which is about to happen any day now. So now America and Britain and follows Israel is kicked out of the Middle East because now Iran is taking that position. See, in chapter 19, it's called mid-heaven because it's between heaven and earth. See, European countries, they represent the earth. But America, Britain, and false Israel had ascended into heaven. That's what the Bible tells you. They're ascending in heaven. But the Bible says, though you ascend into heaven, I will bring you down. I will bring you back down to the earth. It said, though you ascend into heaven, I will bring you back down to the earth. So they had ascended into heaven in 1990, and now the Shia has kicked them out. That's the chapter 12, right, where it says Michael and his angels went to war against the dragon and his angels, right? And then the dragon and his angels were defeated and cast back down to the earth. So that's what's happened. So America and Britain and false Israel is kicked, right? Well, false Israel, we hold on for that one, but America and Britain is kicked out of the Middle East. They have no authority and no control in the Middle East anymore. Okay? That's about to happen. America and Britain, that's a Gog and Magog, right? Chapter 20. They're Gog and Magog. These are the ones that were the two empires that were ruled. There's two horns, the two empires, that's the ram and that Daniel, that's the two horns. See, Gog and Magog. See, they're the only two world empires that the Europeans ever had. There's only two world empires. America's a world empire, and Britain was a world empire. But it's decided back in the 40s, and now America, that's the 666 thing. I'm not going into that type of detail, right? But there's only been two world empires, and that's them two, Gog and Magog. Magog means the mother of Gog. Magog. So now the Shia is victorious. They have control of all of the Middle East. All of it, oil and everything, have control of all of it. You see? So I'm not going to all the implications of that, right? But they have control of all of it. See? Well, I will say this, that control and a couple other things will cause the European economy, that's the West, not Russia, to totally collapse. That's chapter 18. Because they no longer can get oil from the Middle East now. Because they have total control over Saudi Arabia, not Saudi Arabia, Arabia, all that. Have total control, all the oil in that region. Right? Syria and Iran. Okay, so that's the war. See? So there you go. They're kicked out. Now America and Britain, Gog and Magog kicked out. They're no longer there anymore. See? That's where this Babylon is fallen. Become a cage of every demon and foul bird. Remember the demons are under that? That's what it means. See? That's America. America's fallen. Babylon has fallen. See? At the end of that, it just says, the city of the great was thrown into the sea. That's Magog. See? And in between that, right, Europe, Western Europe, goes totally bankrupt. Its economy collapses. See? So now it's dependent on Russia for any That means since it's dependent on Russia, it has to ally with Russia, right? Because now, you see there, America is now at war with, when they're thrown out, they immediately go to war with Russia. When they kicked out, they immediately go to war with Russia. But Europe, on the other side, is also going to go to war with them because now their economy is totally collapsed, in part because they assisted America in their fight with Iran. And so Iran turns the spigot off, so no more oil for you. And the only one they can get oil from is Russia. Because America can't furnish them any oil, and the economy just collapsed. So if they want to survive, they have to ally with Russia to get oil. So therefore, they turn on America. They're going to turn on America. See? The great betrayal. Well, that's not the first betrayal. There's another. I'm not going to that here. At that time, right, that's when Suleiman, see, will go to the NOI and cast out the demons. See, that's when the Ancient of Days will sit. He will cast out the demons, Farrakhan and all his crowd, and the vipers along with him. He will cast them out. That's when he goes there. See, because they're under the Magog. That's when he goes there. I should show it that way, but that's the way it is. So he goes in and clean it out. See, that's what the Ancient of Days just said. Ancient of Days had hair like lamb's wool, but Farrakhan claims he's Ancient of Days. I guess he's going to get a Jerry curl or reverse curl or something. I don't know. Because he claims he's the Son of Days, Son of Man, right? He claims he's the Ancient of Days, but he don't have hair like lamb's wool, do he? See? Anyway, he claims to make a lot of claims, but he's a demon. He's Legion up there. Louis Eugene Grounds, that's his real name. They can hide all they want to. The NOI backwards, because he turned the NOI backwards. See, he castrated all the NOI, FOI, right, and pimped the sisters. It's pathetic. Anyway, so now America's immediately at war with Russia and Western Europe, and false Israel is isolated. It's isolated in the Middle East. Has no protector. It's totally isolated. Everybody that could have fled false Israel, because when this war takes place, everybody's not so confident that Jesus is going to come back. Because most of them believe in that anyway. That Jesus will come back and save them in the end. Because most of them know it's a fraud. They know they ain't true Israel. They know they're not real. With the seed of Abraham, most of them know that already anyway. They know that. But they take advantage of these dumb Christians, right? Who want to play that game, so it says, he who blesses Israel will be blessed. He who curses Israel will be cursed. Hey, we pretend we're Israel, so we'll be blessed. And they have been blessed mightily. Over 72 years, they've been blessed mightily, assuming our identity. See, so you all play that game? Y'all was burning us up a few years ago, so now y'all want to play a game, we'll play it. Y'all give us all y'all money. See, we destabilize the Middle East, destabilize the world, because the whole world foreign policy is based on the fact that they're supposed to be the true seed of Abraham, that they occupied land. Because remember, it was the UN that voted to have them take that land. It was the whole world that bought that BS about them being about the whole world. Remember, it wasn't America. America and Britain set it up, but it was the UN that voted and authorized that. That's all the nations. See, because they bought the crap that they the true seed of Abraham, and they're going to return. Whole world bought it. You see? Even after Elijah Muhammad told them the truth of it. And that might have been an inspiration for them, because they're all against it anyway. The last thing, there's not one nation on the planet who wants us to succeed, who wants us to be born, who wants to take power again. Not one. Especially after what they've done to us. They fear revenge. They fear revenge. And that's exactly what they're going to get. So their fear is justified. See, because we're not going to forgive them. We're going to let them know you don't F around with God. You don't F around with the tribe of Shabazz. See, we allowed you to do what you did to us. We could have stopped it. We had a choice. We could have just burnt your ass up and we'd had enough energy, right? Kept the population low. Yeah, because it was 3 tribes. If you get rid of 2 tribes, that's 2/3 of the population. That means it's 2/3 of people less sucking up the energy. That means everybody has twice as much energy, or 3 times as much energy as they had before. The tribe of Shabazz. That would have been enough to get us through the time of unprecedented trouble. Excuse me. That would have been enough energy to get us through energy deprivation without suffering energy deprivation. But we're not murderers. See, we just wiped them out 50,000 years ago. See? Then it kept the population stable. See? That means, again, 2/3 of all the people that was sucking energy is gone. Like if you got 100 gallons of water, see, and it's got to last you a certain period of time. You got 100 people, and they drink a gallon a day. It's going, say it got to last you 3 days. You got 100 gallons of water, you got 100 people, and that water has to last you 3 days. But everybody's drinking a gallon a day. That means after the end of the day, nobody's going to have any water. Right? But if you go out and wipe out half the people, right? See, you wipe out half the people. So now what? You only got 50 people. Everybody got 2 gallons. That'll last them 2 days. You understand? See? That's the way it works. And Master Muhammad's going to give it 5 billion, 8 billion. What do you think? That's going to be a turbocharge of energy. See, it's going to return you all back to your youth. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to take a little segue here, but I keep telling you, you're not suffering old age. You're suffering wilting. I know most of you probably have seen flowers wilt. They wilt when they not get enough water, enough sunlight, and whatever they wilt. And they look like they die, look like they're old. But once you start getting the proper nourishment, nutrition, the sun, and the water and everything, they spring back as beautiful as they were before. So it wasn't of old age, it was wilting. You're suffering from wilting, not over age. And all you need is a burst of energy, the right type of energy, and you will revert back to your normal, beautiful self. Your physical, beautiful self. And that's what Master Muhammad's going to do. Because you're about to you're getting a burst of energy already. That's going to be enough for you to be born as a nation. Enough to hold a nation together. But he's going to give you this extra turbocharge. Because he's going to get rid of 8 billion. That means 8 billion people sucked up his energy going to be gone. That means you're going to get a burst of energy like you can imagine. Going to turn you back to your youth. And you're going to remain youthful forever. As long as you want to live, you'll remain youthful and strong and healthy. That's what Master Muhammad, your God, is going to do for you. See? He's going to wipe out 8 billion. See? It says many. He will give many lives for your life. That's what your God is getting ready to do for you. And you want to sit around and wait and don't want to fight and get on the battlefield and fight for that? Everybody's going to fight for you, and you're going to lay back and, hey man, I'm going to watch NFL. I'm going to check y'all out. But y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go fight. I'm going to sit on the sideline and see how y'all do. Okay. But, I understand it mathematically. Because a black man is slower to get into war than anybody else. I showed the mathematics of war. See? But once you got the wisdom and you know your history and you want to stand up and when it's made easy for you, all you got to do is get up and study the angel and put this truth out at least once a day. When Elijah Muhammad, he had to go out there and walk and sell papers in the sun, in the snow, whatever, right? 300 per week. That means you might be out there 4 or 5 hours selling papers every day. It wasn't easy. I can tell you it wasn't easy. Your whole weekend sometime. You ain't home. You can't be home with the missus because you out there selling them papers or you're not FOI. And there were some weekends I would spend a whole weekend out there trying to catch up, trying to get those papers sold. You know, going door to door, stand on the corner, however. Anyway, so Suleiman comes. That's the point where he casts out the demons, cleans the NOI up. That's what it says in Malachi. He will come and clean it up. Whose mess he cleaned up? He cleaned up Elijah's mess? Really? Or is he cleaning up Farrakhan's mess? Because it says he's cleaning up a mess. He's the messenger of the covenant. See, because I'm teaching the covenant. Farrakhan doesn't teach the covenant. Anyway, so we're there. Then, remember, false Israel is, let me go back and show this now, make sure you understand. False Israel is isolated and they're under siege. They're under siege. So when you see Jerusalem is surrounded by armies, that's what you see right there. They're about to go down. It says the desolation of desolation is nigh. That means at that point, that means you better be fleeing. Because they're getting ready to go down. See? They're getting ready to go down. They know Jesus will come back and save them. See, that's what evangelicals tell you. Billy Graham, like, oh man, see, they need to be so happy. They're rejoicing at this point. Because, man, that means Jesus is going to be in a minute. See, because Jesus is going to save them because they're the true seed of Abraham. See, they're isolated. That's the desolation of apartment. See? At that point. And then they're under siege, and then they're taken out. No more. That's going to send shockwaves to the world. That there was the foundation of this reality. That foundation of this reality, the cornerstone is destroyed. That means the whole thing starts collapsing. This whole reality starts collapsing because they snatched out the foundation, they snatched out the cornerstone. Master Muhammad does that. See, he's David with his slingshot. See, I didn't show that, but the rain right there, that would be the stone. See, because you have the wind and stones. That's the fifth stone. That's why I said 5 stones. And then you see the white there with the crowns on. That's a sackcloth. They also call sackcloth, and that's what a slingshot is. See, and hit Goliath in the head. That's what that really means, brother and sister. I'm not going into detail about it. Not here. See? So they're gone. Shockwaves to the world. And that means they're not the true seed of Abraham, because that's not supposed to happen. That means you really are the true seed of Abraham, and they're going to come after you because they cannot let you live. After all what they've done to you, because if you're the true seed of Abraham, who are they? They're reading the scriptures. They know what's going to happen to them. If you true seed of Abraham, you true seed of Abraham, you know what's going to happen to them. Because remember, they're under 9 plagues now. And the war, Armageddon isn't in place. I put a whole presentation out about the plagues. The war is the plagues. So they've been plagued now because everything is going wrong for them. They just got kicked out of the Middle East. See? And now they're at war, and Western Europe has betrayed them, turned on them. And Russia's kicking their ass over in Europe. And they have no friends over there. And they're getting their ass kicked over there. See, the war, Armageddon, are the 9 plagues they talk about in Exodus. Okay, so, man's going, shockwaves to the world. Okay, at that time, now, it's really during this time, but like I said, I'm trying step by step. Because while America at war, as soon as they're at war, right? Now, during the time of the abomination of desolation, time of abomination of desolation, right? Europeans, well, remember, America's at war, so Europeans are tearing themselves apart. They fighting with each other, tearing themselves apart, okay? So, remember, their militaries and everything being destroyed because they're destroying each other. They're destroying each other's power. They're destroying each other's economies. They're destroying each other's armaments, their tanks, their boats. They're weakening their whole structure, right? Because remember, they dominate the world right now within their military. They got them all together. They have the greatest military in the world. But now they're destroying it because they're destroying each other. So that means the power shifts to China and India because now their military is greater, more powerful. The Europeans, because Europeans are busy destroying their own infrastructure, their own military infrastructure. You get it? That's what it means the crowns will shift to the beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns, and crowns upon its horns. That's the power shift. It says it right there in chapter 13. They praised the dragon because the dragon gave his great power and authority to the beast that has 7 heads and 10 horns. And he gave them, he shifted his authority to them. So now they had authority. So now they had powers. While Europeans are tearing themselves apart. Because remember, they're destroying each other. They're destroying their navies and everything else. You see? Well, you wonder, why is Biden picking up fighting with Russia? You know, because their minds, the consequence of their deeds is a plague and affects their minds. So they're making bad decisions because the pressure is too great. They was not made to withstand pressure. I keep saying that. They was made, that's why the Quran said it was made in haste. They was made in a tension environment, right? The energy deprivation. See, that means that's a lack of energy. That's a lack of pressure. You see, because as the universe expands, there's less pressure in it. Pressure turns to tension. Tension is when you pull things apart. Pressure is when you push things back together. Tension is the opposite of pressure. So they was created under tension. So they cannot withstand pressure. See, we would build ourselves under pressure. So, and under the greatest pressure the universe can withstand. So pressure does not destroy us. Pressure just makes us better. But pressure, they cannot withstand it. So now the universe is contracting and they can't withstand the pressure. And when you put someone under pressure, you can't make good decisions. Because everybody looks at, man, why are you crazy? Why are you picking a war with Russia? They got nuclear weapons. You think they're going to lay down? If you beat them, they're going to say, okay, we give up, and they got nuclear weapons? You say, is that y'all insane? Yes, they are insane because the pressure is too great. It doesn't make any sense, does it? But they're doing it. Okay, so there's a power shift. That's the dragon has 7 heads, 10 horns, and crowns upon his horns. Europeans don't have any crowns on their horns anymore. Because remember, chapter 13 said they gave the power to the dragon, so they don't have it anymore. They have the beast has the dragon gave his power to the beast. Read chapter 13 in Revelations. And then they're attacking. See, let me back this up here. During this time, when false Israel goes down, they start attacking black people. All black people. Like I said, that's the time they understand that we're choosing Abraham, so they're attacking all black people. That's why you see America's covering the demons, and Britain is covering the NOI. They're attacking all black people. But Suleiman, right? He's defending the NOI. But they're attacking. See, that's why it says flee, because it's not the military. It's the civilians, evangelicals and everything. So they're going to come. That's why I say flee. You're not fleeing from the military. They say you can't go back in your house. Why? Because your neighbor going to kill you. The police ain't going to get there that fast. The government ain't going to get there that fast. And anyway, they couldn't get the government. I mean, how they going to cover everybody? 17 million people? It's your neighbor going to get you, because they're going to realize that you're the true seed of Abraham, and they're going to get you. Come here, judge. That's why it says, don't go back in your house. Just get out of town fast. Don't think. Just get out of here, because they're going to come in and kill you. You don't. It's telling you. I know you can't perceive this. Oh man, I can't. It says a time unprecedented trouble. See, but you just can't perceive because they got you locked down with NBA and this TV and everything else. You just can't perceive that this stuff could be happening. And the Bible's telling you it's going to happen. It says they're going to eat their own children. It's telling you what it's going to be like, but you listen to T.J. Jakes. And Farrakhan, close your door from the nation, hide in your chambers. So they're attacking you. See? And that's when the 4 winds blow. Who are the 4 winds? The 4 winds are the black Africans, not us. The ones here like on visa and immigrant or whatever. See, they're going to be attacking them too. But they're going to fight back. They're prepared. They're going to fight back. And that little fight, that fighting back, right, it's going to provide a respite, a little protection for you to get the hell out of town. Those of you that have already got your throat cut. But the demons, they're going to hesitate because they still, Master, why are you attacking us? We with you. They don't understand. Master don't give a damn about them. They only use them to get us. They never care anything about them. We're all niggas as far as they're concerned. But oh, Master, because they love Master. Oh, Master, they're going to hesitate. See, a lot of them going to be killed, hesitate. See, but now the government's involved here too now because the government's at war. Now that government's not going to kill you. What they're going to do is they're going to try to round you up and put you in concentration camps. See, because they know you're true seed Abraham also. See, they're going to tell you it's for your protection. We're protecting you from other white people. They'll tell you you're protected because black folks being killed. Those that didn't hear this message, they got a throat cut. So, hey, we're protecting you from you. We're putting you concentration. We're protecting you. See, at the same time, that's the lie they're going to tell you. At the same time, they're going to try to get you, not just your sons, but your daughters, help us fight this war. See, that's what it meant by throw them in the river. See, if you go back there, right? Let's go back there and show that. That's why you got to understand how this works, bro. Since the AL-INJIL key works. See, that's the river. Remember it says after abortion, when that didn't work, throw them in the river. That's the 200 million man army. See, that's what it means, throw them in the river. See, give them to help you fight this war. See, so they're going to be putting you in concentration camps and they're going to tell you, your son and daughter, come on, we need it for your protection. Now we need you to help fight this war. A lot of you are going to do it. A lot of you are going to do it. See, 100,000, maybe 1 million black folks are going to go over there and help fight that war. And they're not coming back because they're going to run to a 200 million man army. America, Britain, all the European countries together could not put an army together that big. Only China and India could do it. See? Hold on, brothers and sisters. Let me take a look at this. I should have. 1 second. Excuse me for that, brothers and sisters. I just was recently in hospital for a blood clot, and I got people calling me trying to see if I'm okay, right? So, anyway, so what we're saying is that they're going to tell you, hey, man, it's for your protection because the citizens are killing you. Honestly, because white folks will be killing you, especially evangelicals. They're going to be killing you. And so they're going to come and say, oh, we're going to put you in concentration camps. Because they want to get rid of you too. See? But they want to use you to help with this war. So they say, we put in your concentration camp, protect you, because you can't go back to your neighborhood, you can't go back to your house, because they want to kill you. So that's the Democratic Party. We save you from the Republicans, from the rednecks. And you're going to buy it. Most of you are going to buy it. See? And they're going to put a lot of you in concentration camps. And they're going to tell your children, right, okay, go help fight this war. And you're never coming back. Go, you get over there, you're going to find you ain't fighting a bunch of Rudy Tooties, right? You're up against a 200 million man army, right? And they serious. Okay, so that's what's happening there. See? But the blacks, and that's 4 winds, right? That's going to give you a respite. It's going to give you a period where some of you can escape. Right? The killing by the citizens and the concentration camps. See? Because those of you that paid attention, you already fled, and these are the ones that's fleeing now. They're just not catching on. And the reason why they're catching on right now, because remember, Suleiman is right there now. He's at the NOI, he's in charge of NOI. It says this gospel we're preaching to all the world, and then the end will come. So now he's out there. Remember, he just took down Farrakhan. He and Cole NOI. That's going to be big news all over the country. See? So he has a platform now. And people be listening to him. And so now he can preach all over the world, right? Because and plus he's talking about this war. And people are going to see that what he said, predicted. See, because that's why I put all information out on it. See, because what we're doing is we're planting seeds right now. Brothers and sisters, we're planting seeds right now for the season when they will grow. At that point, the seeds will start growing. They'll break ground. And people go back and look at, oh man, he said this. He said that. He said he said this would happen. Now they're going to be listening to everything else I say. See? That's why I'm not getting rid of my presentation stuff, because I'm planting seeds. That's why, but the last 30 years, I'm planting seeds. See? And now is the season where they start growing. That's what said. Then this gospel will preach in all the world. Then the end will come. So now the whole world is hearing what Suleiman's talking about. See? So at that point, right? See? Now our people hear it, right? And they understand. See, this during this period of time. See? So that gives them a warning, because some of them hear it, and that means they'll be able to escape. They'll be able to flee. Because during this time, this is when this is going to be preached all over the place. Hope you understand that, brother, sister. And that's their fleeing now. See, they got it. Those ones that escaped, they escaped being slaughtered in the homes, and they escaped being put in the concentration camps. So they all come together. All the blacks come together. This way it says, the demons and legionnaires, they're also called clouds in the angel. You understand the key? Cloud. And it says, he will come in the clouds, and every eye will see him. They also call eyes. You have to understand the angel. Have like a glossary explain what these symbols mean, right? So he say, come with the clouds. See? And every eye will see him. That means he's taking power now. So you got all the black folks together. See? So you already had one demon war. What was the first demon war? When he took out Farrakhan. That's Suleiman's first demon war with them. He took out Farrakhan. Now you got the second demon war. That's at the harvest. What you think the harvest? You think they weren't going to fight back? It tells you they're going to fight back. It tells you they're going to fight back, because they separate Moses, they separate Joshua's and Elijah's people from Aaron and his people. And then Joshua and his people slaughtered all of Aaron's people. That was during the time of war. See, because it says when Suleiman came into Joshua's camp, remember, it was Joshua's camp. Joshua was in control. No, excuse me. Aaron was in control. Aaron was in control. And it says Joshua entered into his camp, and there was great celebrating. It was a great singing and everything. See, it was the sound of war. Think about it. Sound of war. But it wasn't the sound of victory or the sound of defeat. That means when the war starts, that's when he comes into Aaron's camp, into Farrakhan's NOI. See? And then the harvest takes place after that. That's where we are right there. And there's a separation between, because they're all together now. So separation between, because the only way you can separate them had to be together, right? So all together now. So he separates his people from Aaron's people. And all Aaron's people was just slaughtered. So that's where we are right now. Because when we come together, all black folks come together, you're going to have the demons, right? Oprah and LeBron and all, they think we stupid. They love massa, and they think we're stupid, because they think just like their bad daddies do. They think we're stupid. Oh man, come on man, we can make a deal with massa. Massa children killing you in your homes. Massa put in your concentration camp, but you can still make a deal because they love massa. And some of them blame us. They said, man, if it wasn't for those niggas, man, massa wouldn't be doing that to us. They only doing it because of them niggas. Because they ain't patriotic, right? They don't love America. That's why they're killing them. See, that's the way some of them would think. You see? So they're going to hate us. Oh man, see, if it wasn't for those niggas, Massa wouldn't be doing this stuff. They would be killing us at home, and they wouldn't be talking about this Abraham covenant stuff. See, because Farrakhan, he don't want to hear about no Abraham covenant, about the promised land. He said, we ain't going nowhere. And if you understand when he tells you not going anywhere, don't you do it? You have a sense of deduction, brothers and sisters. A sense of deduction has such a logic. If he's telling you we're not going nowhere, that means this whole thing has been for nothing. That means he's calling God a liar. He's calling Elijah Muhammad a liar. He's calling Master Muhammad a liar. Because that's the covenant. God says, we're going back home. Elijah Muhammad said, we a fool to want to stay in our land from prison. He called him a liar. And you're going to tell me he's representing Elijah Muhammad? He calling God and Elijah a liar? Tell me he's not calling them that. If he said we're not going nowhere, and they say we are, and that's the whole purpose of Elijah Muhammad teaching us for 40 years, and that's the whole purpose of Master Muhammad coming here. But he's saying that don't mean shit because we ain't going nowhere. And you're going to tell me he's representing Elijah Muhammad? He's representing his daddy devils. He's calling Elijah Muhammad a liar and everything he did for nothing. And he's calling Master Muhammad a liar. And everything he's come here with didn't mean a damn thing. And we ain't going nowhere. That means he's calling the whole covenant that Allah made with Abraham a lie. He's calling Allah a liar. Because that's not what they say. So you heard this, then you come up here talking about you and Farrakhan, and that's the truth, and plus his father's a devil anyway, he's a demon, and you know this because you're an idolater. Because, you know idolaters like in Catholic Church, they have those statues, they don't care what the statues say, they just love the statue. They admire it. See? They love his image. See? If the cat don't have to say anything, and that's like Farrakhan, he can say anything he wants to. They don't care because they love his image. No, that makes you an idolater because you ain't paying attention to what he says. You just love him. You love his image. Anyway, we all come together, and then they're gonna try to tell us, no, man, we need to go nowhere. We need to stay here and try and make it out with Massa. Prove to Massa, right? That we're really loyal. Let's go back. Let's join the army. Let's get more of us join the army. Let's prove to Massa that we're loyal. That's their argument. They're gonna try to tell it to us. And Suleiman is not buying it. He said, we don't want your ass. And so there's a war between us and Massa, second demon war. Second, that's what it says in Exodus, where Joshua armed themselves and they went and slaughtered all of Aaron's. That's the second demon war between us and them. And we cast them out. See, we destroy them, we cast them out. See, we cast them out. See, that's the harvest. It just took the wheat and the chaff, it took and bound it and threw it into the fire. See, that's the fire down there in Europe. Threw him into the fire. But this gets into Samson. I'm not going a lot of detail here. But see, Samson was a demon, right? But they tricked Samson. And so Samson had to go through, he was enslaved along with us. He was slave along with us. See? They took his eyesight away. They took his strength away. He was slave right along with us. See? But then his strength came back, but he never got his eyes back. So he was still blind, still stupid, right? See? But he was angry. He was angry. So that represents that green demon there. That's Samson, right? So what he did was, is he positioned himself between two pillars. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So I'm a little ahead of myself. Because, yeah, I'm ahead of myself. Because, okay, hold that thought. So they're thrown out. See, back to the devil. This is where, in Matthew, where they say, please don't make us leave. See, when they up there, we're getting ready to get out of here. Master Muhammad's getting ready. Let's back up here. See, we're here. We're all together. This is Mark, book of Mark. And they're saying, please, because, see, please, right? Don't make us leave the country. See, because now it's Legion. Jesus got control of them. Please don't make us leave the country. So then Jesus said, well, throw us back to those swine. See, throw us back to the swine. That's the story here. That's what Jesus is throwing back to the swine daddies. Bam. See? They won't stay with the swine daddies. So now they're back with swine daddies. That's what the story is telling you, brothers and sisters. And so they go off the cliff together. That means they start fighting each other. They go off to destroy each other. They run off the cliff together. They destroy each other. Right? So they're there. Okay? So, and this is where they're replaced by the Shia. We're the gods. The Shia is a new angel. This is the building of the ark. Right? So they're there. Right? So let's finish this process. This is where we can, we see, we're leaving at this point in time, right? We've left because Iran and Syria ain't come over here. So that means we're over there now. Iran and Syria is not coming here. So we're left. This is what Master Muhammad has taken. Those in the Lamb's Book of Life, they've been removed. They're over here now, right? See? But they know why they're not. They have to go through a tribulation period. See? Because that represents the ark. The rainbow and up top, that represents the ark. See? And we see the water and everything, that represents the waters. That's part of the flood. And the waters are the tribulation. So the NOI is still in the tribulation. They got to go through the tribulation period because they neglected to do their duty. They were supposed to build a bridge between Elijah and Suleiman, but they didn't. They were deceived by Farrakhan, and they built a bridge for him to his riches. See, they were deceived. It says he would make war against the saints and overcome them, which he did for 40-some years. Farrakhan fought the son of perdition, made war against the saints in NOI, and he will overcome them because if the saints are not the NOI, remember, the NOI claim you're going to inherit the kingdom, right? So that means you must be the saints. It says the saints would inherit the kingdom. The NOI said they're going to inherit the kingdom, so they must be the saints. And so somebody, if Farrakhan's not the one that deceived them 40-some years, that means they got that in their future. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And we read that scripture. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. See, read that scripture. It says that they will overcome the saints for 42 years. That's how long Farrakhan, he's been going for since 75. So what did that give you? 75 to 2000, that's 25 years, right? See, and then to 2015, right? Wait a minute, 75, that's 25. And 15 more years, that's 20, let me get this right. To 2015, 15 on top of, I'm distracted his phone. From 75, well, he didn't start at 75. Let me back up, right? So, this is 22, that's 22 years right there, right? So I take 20 years back, that will put you to about 1980, somewhere around there. See? So anyway, approximately 42 years. So he's been running this thing because he came back and said, what, he said 1978, something like that there. 1979, he calls start coming back and take over the NOI. But it's been about 42 years, right? And he said he will overcome the saints. He'll make war with the saints. How is he going to make war with the saints? Because he's called the mouth. So that means he make war with the lies and deceit. He make war because they call him the son of perdition. And he will make war with the saints and overcome them, right? Now, again, it said the saints will inherit the kingdom. Now, the NOI says they're going to inherit the kingdom. So who, if there are going to be two people inherit the kingdom? So if you're the ones, if that means you're the saints. If you claim the NOI, then you're the saints because you claim that you're going to inherit the kingdom. Unless there's somebody else going to inherit the kingdom with you. That means you got to be overcome for 42 years, a minimum of 42 years, about 42 years, right? Because they make war against you and overcome you. You understand? So, if Farrakhan is not the one that does make war against you, he's not the mouth. If he's not the mouth, he's not the son of perdition. That means that's in your future. That's in your future. So you figure it out. And why they call him the mouth? Because the only attribute that was attributed to Aaron was his mouth, nothing else. Both in the Quran and the Bible, his mouth. That's why they call him the mouth. He was a mouth. He was a spokesman. That's the only reason why he was selected by Elijah to be a spokesman. That's why I call him the mouth. And anyway. So here we are right here. We're over, that's why the Shia, right, together. So we're over in the Middle East now. See? So America is over here, right? And then now the demons have been cast down. Let's see what happens to them. What happened? Okay, here we go. This is the Samson thing. So now the demons have figured out that there's no peace with the devils. The devils, them dead devil daddies don't want them. They're not going to make an agreement with them. They want to get rid of them. They figured out that they abandoned. We abandoned. We didn't want them. We left them behind here, right? And the demons, their devil's dad don't want them either. So now they decide just to destroy. That's the third demon war. They decide to destroy their master. So they go to war. I don't know how many left. 16 million? It's 17 million demons in America right now. How many left? 16? How many? I mean, they sent a bunch of them to war. A lot of them got killed, right? By civilians, right? So how many left? 5, 10 million? Anyway, they're all together and they fight. And that's the story of Samson. Because Samson, once he was a slave along with us. See? But when his strength came back, his eyes didn't come back. So he had to be positioned between two pillars. See? And what's two pillars? Now I'm showing false Israel there, but that should be America there. Because they're under America, so that's my error. But the two pillars will be Gog and Magog. See? And so he pushed against those two pillars. His aim was to destroy them. See, that's the demon plague in Revelations where it said 5 months. And this will go on for 5 months. They'd be tearing this country apart, trying to tear down, trying to destroy that as foundation. Because he's trying, that's what Samson did. He went, put himself between two positions that were supporting the whole thing, that was supporting right that country. And he tried to bring it down right there, and that's what said he positioned between those two poles, between American and that's what's talking about American, Gog and Magog, to bring the whole thing down. See, this ain't just happening here, because you got blacks over in Britain too. But that's another story. I'm gonna talk about that. Anyway, that's what that means. That's that story of Samson. So he destroys. He brings it down, but he brings it down to self too. That's what happens here. So he's just, because he's destroyed. The demons are totally destroyed in that process. They're totally destroyed in that process. See? Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. Maybe we should back up here a little bit. How far do we need to back up here? Okay, no. Back more. Okay, during this period of time, basically, did you remember false Israel has gone down? Now, you may not understand this, but these devils, they still hate Jews. They use the Jews just like they use the demons. They use the demons to go after us, to deceive us and confuse us. Right? But they use the Jews to steal our identity, to keep the fact that we the true seed of Abraham hidden. So that's why, because remember, they was burying them up in the 40s. They just got finished burying them up. They were still going smokestacks, and all of a sudden, all the Europeans hated them. America hated them. The most famous preacher in America was a Catholic preacher, I think, he was a radical so-called anti-Semite. They hate him. They wouldn't let Jews come in this country when they was trying to escape on boats from Hitler. They didn't care about them. See, Ford, you know, the guy in the Ford company, him and those people, they was helping support Hitler's military machine. They hated those Jews. But when Elijah Muhammad revealed that we're true to Abraham, they had to have something to counter it. So all of a sudden the Jews who they hated, it was burned up, the shit became honey. And everybody was eating it. All of a sudden they loved them. Out of nowhere, just like that. For thousands of years they've been hating them, calling them Christ killers and everything else. Suddenly they love them. Why? Because Elijah Muhammad says, we traced Abraham, we had the proof, we had a document, certification, and we had to counter that. See? So they set them up in 1948. They didn't love them. They set them up and try to do everything they can to support the fact that they are. That's why they spend all kinds of money on things. They got to keep that going. Because they can't have people thinking, and they still can't have us thinking, that we traced Abraham. That's why Farrakhan's job to stop us from thinking that. It gets away from that. That's why we're getting into Sunnism. I'm not going into all that detail. But that's what that's all about. See? So they still hate them. They don't love them. They still hate them. But now that false Israel gone, and it's revealed that they're not the true seed of Abraham, they can't use them anymore, then they're going to start trying to kill them again, the ones over here. They're going to be wiping them out. See? But the thing is that they, unlike us, see, that's the frogs they talk. No, not the frogs. They're the flies. We're the frogs. See, we're the frogs. We want them. We're the plague, the 9 plagues. We're the frogs. But they're the flies. They're everywhere in America. See, the frogs was everywhere. See, the demons, they're everywhere in America. They're in sports. They're in commerce. They're in finance. You know, they're in all institutions, every place. Hollywood. The demons there, because they're in Master's house. That's not us in there. When you look on TV, you see demons. Those black folks, they're demons, they're not us. See, their job is to make us love America. You understand? And the flies, they're everywhere. Buzz. See, but they got power, they got wings. They're gonna try to swat all those flies and get rid of them. Because they hate them and they don't need them anymore. See, but they're in every, they're in control. They have control of. And so that's going to be a big fight. Because the Jews here, right, they're like us. They have control. We're black folks in every industry, but they don't have the control that the Jews have. They control us about everything. That's going to be a big fight right there. See, that's going to be a big fight. See, but they're going to end up wiping out all the Jews here. See, because they're going to blame them for all what happened. See, you're the reason why we're having this war in Russia right now. You're the reason why our foreign policy failed, because we was investing in you lying all the time. They knew they was lying, but now, see, they're going to blame, that's white folks, they blame everybody. They're going to say, you're the one that caused this problem. You're the one causing this war. You're the one causing all these plagues on us. See? And they blame them for all that, so they're going to be killing them. Let's get back to where we were. Countdown to Armageddon. Countdown to Armageddon. This is his brothers and sisters. See, Armageddon is the plagues. This is Armageddon. See, so now the demons got wiped out. They're gone. And now, right? Now we got the dragon. Not the dragon, the beast, which is called the goat in Daniel. See? Because he's angry. They're powerful now. America's weak. America's been torn up inside by the demons and everything else. See, it's weak. See, and so now the beast with 7 heads, 10 horns, and the crowns upon it. That's death and Hades, right? China and India, the 200 million man army. See, it says that's the goat that comes across the west coast. Come across the Pacific Ocean, says he's coming, right, from the west. His feet does not touch ground. That means he's coming across the Pacific Ocean, and he attacks America from the Pacific Ocean. Only one can do that is China and India anyway, and that's when they attack. They take out. Right, they're coming that way, but also before they do that, America, they take out Britain. They take out Makeout's gone. They wiped them out. See, and now they're coming after America. America's alone. They'll have Britain to help them. No one to help them. They're alone, isolated. And now they come after them. See, that's the flood. That's the flood. That's also the goat and Daniel. They come after America. See? And they wipe out the flood. They wipe out America. Wipe it out. See? But they lay siege to America. So America's starving. They eat people eating their young. Children are gray-headed because they're going to lay seeds. They're not going to take them. They're not going to just come and roll over America. No, they're going to first surround America and lay seeds. The distribution of food, nothing you can have food, and nothing being clothes. People are going to be eating their young. It tells you. It says a woman, if she's pregnant, she's going to hide the fact she's pregnant, and when she's going to give birth in silence. Can you imagine that? She's going to give birth in silence. In silence. Go to labor and birth in silence because she don't want anybody to know that she just gave birth. Because she wants to eat that baby when it's born. It tells you that right in the scripture. That's how bad it's going to be. Children will be gray-headed because they can't be home with their parents because their parents will eat them. So they're roaming around in children gangs and they're gray-headed because and there's nothing to eat. And so they preying up, they're looking, searching people to eat them. And if they can't, they start eating each other. It's going to be terrible. And the Chinese and the Indians, they're going to sit around and watch this go on. And they ain't going to set no white flags. They're going to enjoy seeing this happening. See? And then finally, after they've sit back and had their enjoyment, then they move in and just eradicate everybody, except those that still that has some health and they're young, right? Has some health to them. They're going to take them into perpetual slavery. And they're going to nuke the place. They're going to totally destroy it because the Bible says it'll be 1,000 years before you can occupy America again. That means it's radiated, totally destroyed. That's the end. That's the end. That's the flood. It says the flood drowned everybody on the earth. That means all the Europeans. See? And so that's where that gets to that point. Now, when you're at that point, right? See? Then all you have is them. See? I got the cow there, but that represents the house of Sod, right? See? So you got the dragon, you got the two beasts. Obama is going to run. He's going to be controlling the non-Islamic Africans, right? And you got China, right? So that's the two beasts plus the dragon. That's what you have right there. See? So then they're going to take and attack us. It's going to be a war between us and them. It says these 10 kings, remember there's 10 kings, right? They're going to make war with the Lamb, but the Lamb overcome. That means that's going to be a war between them and the Lamb, not Master Muhammad. He's like the Air Force. He's going to be a watchman. But it says these 10 kings will make war against the Lamb. And the Lamb overcome. That's going to be the last greatest war. That's when we redeem ourselves, redeem our honor before our women's eyes, we redeem their honor, right? Their respect. Be the greatest war ever. 200 million men against us, and we have nowhere near those numbers. It's going to take 6 years, 6 months to bury the dead. It says Master Muhammad will put a chemical on them that will make their flesh fall off their bones. That's going to be a terrible war. See? And that's what's talking chapter 20. And then they're gone. Death and Hades be thrown into the... There you go. That's the end of them. Now, begin a new heavens and new earth. Now, what is there, right? They become the earth now. And the rest are the heavens. That's the new heavens and new earth. That's New Jerusalem. It's not some plane. That's the plane that's coming, the wheel. Oh, the wheel's going to come down. We're going to live on the wheel. That's the New Jerusalem. That's so much bullshit. The plane is supposed to be a mile, half a mile by half a mile. Half a mile. It takes 8 city blocks is approximately a mile. 8 city blocks in America is approximately a mile. That means a half a mile would be 4 city blocks. So 4 city blocks by 4 city blocks would be the size of that plane. Now, you're going to tell me all these people are going to be living on there, in that area. That's going to be the New Jerusalem. That boy is stupid and he's sick. But people don't pay attention to what he's saying because they love him. He can say anything he wants to say. That's the art. That's New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is not a place. It's all of us coming together. That's the new structure. Because now we're all gods anymore. Because that was Dr. Shabaz's aim, his purpose, to turn all his tribe into gods. So now we're gods. And the Syria and Shia, they're the angels. The rainbow, they're the angels. See, everybody under it is angels. But we're the gods now. And Master Muhammad is the God that's controlling the whole affair. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Hope I didn't get too complicated here. But I want to give you a countdown to Armageddon and blow, blah, blow account. You're not getting that from Farrakhan. You ain't getting it from Silas or Crying Silas. Boy can put up a crack, ain't he? And with this about that Farrakhan, boy, that boy is funky. They say you pull up your skirt, ooh, he's foul. Shit bag of shit and piss. But he got the pretty little gowns on, he's smiling, right? Maybe he's smiling because he's pissing on himself. This boy is sick. The whole thing is sick. They're gone. It's a wonder they can get away with that crap, but they are. But it won't be much longer because Farrakhan goes down this year. They say he's on his deathbed. They say this is the last public. He might even make this one on his so-called Savior's Day. They might even make it. But he said this will be the last public appearance, right? I mean, he's on his deathbed, and that's right because he says if you read Genesis and then I explained to you about those four, the cast of four, the three champions and the one villain, that he dies on the time the war starts, and the war will start this year. See, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think we're going to leave it there. I think we've been here for quite a while. Yeah, we're going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I have some other things I want to talk about, but I'll do it in the next presentation. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.